What is up, guys? It is your boy, Anecdotal, and today we're gonna go ahead and talk about the conclusive results on the 10th honor units. That's right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's just get right into it. First, we're gonna go ahead and start with the Wing Knights, the human tribe guy here, and the Wing Knight, like we all thought, is really good for beginning players, not so much for mid gamers, and for end gamers, specifically people on the leadership boards. It's a pretty good unit to have. Now, that being said, if you're in the mid game, you definitely don't want to use it, and even in the very end part of end game, it's only useful and in only like an insignificant sort of way. Like, it's, I wouldn't want to say insignificant. It matters enough to matter, but not enough for you to actually put it in your team. So the cost that it takes to have it on your team, to keep swapping it in and out, is good for those in the leadership board, but for players like myself, it's not really worth it. Now here you can see that you can get one fragment of these pets over there, like around 1610, and you know, it's just one a day, and to be able to 5-star these pets will take forever, but that's the only way to increase the tribe friendliness for each one of these pets. So make sure to get them, guys. It's only one frag a day. That's one ticket. I don't know who you're farming at the moment, but these guys are definitely worth the farm. Now, Wing Knight here has that special skill. Nobody has their pets yet because nobody has a 5-star pet of a new unit ever. Not this early. It's going to take a few months. I believe at least a few months in order to 5-star these pets. That would be insane, because there is no way that you could get it by spending money or gems or anything like that. You can't refresh the actual stages where you can farm the pets. If you can, it would be so much easier, but luckily they don't do that. That way this game isn't like pay to win. It's not these kind of games. It's this kind of game where you just grind things out. So those pets are just not available yet. But that Sephiroth skill that these guys have should be something that their pet gives us at 5-star from the time shop. 100% sure about that. So in the end, these pets, I mean, these units will be amazing to have, but at the present moment right now, they're only really good for beginning players. You saw how slow this game was going when I turned off the 5 times speed. That's the crippling speed that new players have to deal with, and that helps. And here we're just going to go ahead and look at the top leadership board players, and we see that there's usually 2 Wing Knights being used for all of them, and the reasoning behind that is because it does slightly increase their speed. But from what I've heard from people on Discord, some of the top players that are here in my server, in server 7, that it does increase their speed, but it's just not worth it all the time. So if you're super hardcore about it, it's definitely something you should do, but only if you're like really hardcore about it. Me, I'm a pretty hardcore player, but I'm not gonna go ahead and start putting these guys on my team simply to go like point 0.3 speed faster, or whatever speed it is faster that I'll get. It's not worth it. Right now I'm trying to transition into my orc meta, and all I have in my mind is to get as many hippos as possible so that I can get up to 20, and once I 5-star Hippong, that it's going to be on and popping for my Naga team. Oh, well, for my Waven Rider Naga team, the traditional 1.5 team. I try to do it here, but it doesn't really work out. Windwalker. Oh man, Windwalker, the elf unit that was supposed to shake everything up, is here. Now, Windwalker is supposed to be the unit that takes over Druid. It's actually a bit of a debate here, but for the most part, everyone agrees that post-Squirrel, Druid is the way to go. But pre-Squirrel, just like I said in my previous video on the 10th honor units, that Windwalker, aka Weewa, that's right, WW was already taken by Wolf Walker. Is that what his name is? Wolf Walker? The hamster looking guy, whatever his name is. took WW, took that abbreviation, so he's Weewa, which is just funny as can be. So guys, comment Weewa if you think Windwalker is better than Druid. You can go ahead and comment him. But pre-Squirrel, Weewa is the way to go. But post-Squirrel, some people believe that Druid takes over, while others believe that Windwalker, because he has stealth, and stealth is the way to go, that Weewa wins. So honestly, T3, one of them, T3 them both. Either way, it's not going to be a horrible waste. I do not at all regret having a T3 Druid. He's great for like TOT and for Spirit Highlands. That pushback that he has after a couple shots is great and works really well with Hippo in tandem. And Weewa here is stealth. Now, I don't think he does as great a job with crowd control, but at the same time, I didn't T3 him. Now, if you're just waiting for an elf unit, just evolve him and use him. And if you're waiting to get Druid, then, you know, it might not be worth the wait. So go ahead, take this guy, T3 him, do what you can. Maybe ask around how he does on TOT. I'm not 100% sure how he is with crowd control, but I think he's a cool unit. He has stealth, guys. Why not? Why not use him? I know this should be a conclusive video on which one is better, but in the end, it's infinitesimal. You know, it doesn't matter too much. Now, the Abyss Mage is really not someone we have to talk about. He's not meta changing. With this guy, well, Undead is just not the meta anymore. So if you play this game based on looks, design, or because you have a certain affinity to a particular tribe, then use him. The interesting thing about Abyss Mage and about Succubus is that their skill is that they could have like extra damage on the crystal, which means that if you and the guildmate next to you have the exact same amount of medals, you will be of a higher knightage level than your guildmate, because Succubus and Abyss Mage does more damage to the crystal. Therefore, you should be at a higher stage, maybe even a higher knight level. However, you will not be able to finish stages as fast if you're not using the Hippogriff meta, skipping stages, and doing crazy stuff like that. So even though you will temporarily be at a higher stage level, your spirit rest will be lower because your spirit run will be slower. And at the end, you will not have as much medals, and you will not out-level him or her, whatever guildmate that is that you have, because you're not running the current meta. But if you're one of those players that doesn't really care about the meta, then sure, go ahead, go with them. They're not horrible, they're just not as good by a pretty sizable amount. But it's not like you won't be able to survive in the game if you're not using hippogriffs. It's a lot better, it's a lot easier, you'll level up a way faster. But yeah, guys, at the very end of the day, the only unit to really watch out for is Weewa, aka Weewa, Windwalker, as the replacement for mid-game players that use Elf. That's it. But really, it's not a necessary change. If you already have a T3 Druid, there's really no reason to suddenly switch him out after getting Squirrel and using Weewa, wasting your tickets to T3 him. If you completely use tickets, that's 6 tickets wasted. No reason to do it. Rather you do that with Lich, because Lich is great, or Dark Spirit. Anyways, guys, that's the video. That's the conclusion on these units. If you like the video, make sure to like it. If this helped you, or you think will help a friend make their selections on these honor units, know that you still need to get 20 senior of all of them to get the friendliness. And of course, if you want more Endless Frontier content, make sure to subscribe. My name is Anecdotal. Peace out.